So let's talk about sea moss because this one definitely had its moment. Everywhere you looked, it was gel, gummies, powders, capsules, smoothies with sea moss in it, influencer codes, right? Just straight up sea moss mania. And depending on who you talk to, it either changed their life or it was just another trend. But here's the thing I want you to know. What gets hyped in our culture is usually the surface layer of something much deeper. Most people never truly understood why sea moss took off in the first place and why the hype faded even though the need for it didn't. Now, sea moss has existed for generations. Caribbean families have been using it since before Instagram was invented. Irish cultures used it to survive famines. Herbalists knew about it, but culturally, a few key players brought it to mainstream. Dr. Sebi introduced it to the American consciousness through herbal therapy and mineral supplementation. Alkaline vegans and Caribbean herbalists took it from lectures and health food stores to the manosphere, IG lives and village aunties selling jars from their kitchens. And then, of course, the wellness industry caught wind, slapped the label on it, and made it commercial. The most recent time that I saw it was at Sprouts, my former favorite grocery store. And listen, when I saw it on the shelf, instantly my spidey senses went off. Red flag number one, it was in a big commercialized store. When I started using sea moss, there were no billboards or commercials for it. Red flag number two, multiple colors and multiple flavors. Anytime nature shows up looking like a bag of Skittles, that's a clue. Then red flag number three, I picked up the jar, checked the label, and realized it didn't even expire for another 6 months. 6 months? Sea moss gel should not be sitting there waiting around for retirement. So these different colors offer different flavors supposedly from fruit. But what fruit do you know can last 6 months? And once it's been opened, like imagine that. It's going to be bacteria all over the place. So naturally, there were some preservatives in there to keep it on the shelf longer. So the hype machine has taken over. Listen, trends move in cycles. The first cycle is the curiosity phase. Like, what is it? Why does everyone have this jar in their fridge? Then you have phase number two, the adoption phase. Let me try some. I mean, my cousin swore by it and she don't lie about nothing. Then you get to the third phase, which is the commercialized phase. Gummies, powders, capsules, gummies with B12, gummies with collagen, like gummies that probably saw sea moss from across the room. Then you have the last phase, which is the disappointment phase. People bought ultra-processed versions, but didn't feel the benefits and said, this was just another fad. Truth, the hype didn't die because it stopped working. It died because the market watered it down. A lot of what was sold wasn't even authentic sea moss, and it was farmed, some grown in kiddie pools, bleached, dried in salt, or filled with fillers. And if you're putting trash in, you're not gonna get treasure out. So let's bring this down to earth for a second, because this is where the psychology comes in. Your body craves what it's missing, right? But cravings don't always speak English. When you're low in minerals, the body often shows up as fatigued, cravings, low mood, low energy, agitation, poor sleep, stress eating. I just need a snack to feel like myself again. So most people think they have a discipline problem, but what they really have is a deficiency problem. We overeat because the body is trying to get something it keeps not getting, which is minerals. Sea moss is rich in iodine, selenium, potassium, magnesium, sulfur, zinc, folate, vitamins A, E, and K, and trace minerals upon trace minerals. Depending on the source, it contains 92 of 102 minerals the body needs daily. So when you restore minerals, cravings naturally drop because the body finally says, oh, thank you. You actually heard me. So let me give you a quick story because I gotta make this make sense. Years ago, before I healed my relationship with food, I remember eating dinner and then 2 minutes later, I wanted something else. And then after that, I still wanted something else. It wasn't hunger though, it was restlessness. And back then, I didn't know my body wasn't craving calories, it was craving minerals. But because I didn't know how to give it what it needed, I kept feeding it what I had access to: carbs, sugar, and snacks. Food that filled my mouth, but not my cells. So when I finally started incorporating mineral-rich foods, sea moss, greens, seeds, I noticed that I wasn't searching anymore. I could finish eating and feel done. And let me tell you, done is a whole new level of peace if you spent years chasing the next hit. So I ended up stumbling upon a natural way to not overeat. And this whole time, other than a handful of years ago, I've been thinking I did something magical. But no, I just started taking sea moss consistently. Now, this part is important because companies know you're overeating. They know cravings make money, and they know restlessness keeps you coming back. So they came up with these appetite suppressants. On the shelves, you'll see things like controls hunger, curbs cravings, crushes your appetite. But here's the difference. Appetite suppressants shut down the signals. Minerals satisfy the signal. One is noise canceling, the other one is nourishment. One says, be quiet, and the other one says, what do you need? This program is about listening to your body, not bullying it. So once I started taking sea moss consistently, not only did I give my body all the minerals that it needs daily, which sounds cool, but it didn't necessarily compute at first to why I needed those minerals and what those minerals do. Now, let's talk about who should be cautious about taking sea moss, because safety is important and sea moss is powerful, but powerful doesn't always mean universal. So if you have hyperthyroidism, which is an overactive thyroid, you should be cautious. Why? Because sea moss is high in iodine, and iodine feeds thyroid hormone production. So if your thyroid is already overactive, adding more fuel is not the move. Here's other groups that need to be cautious when it comes to thinking about taking sea moss. If you are taking any kind of thyroid medication, whether it's hyper or hypo, Graves' disease, or Hashimoto's, you want to proceed with caution. People on iodine supplements, people with shellfish or iodine sensitivities, people on blood thinners, because sea moss contains vitamin K. And if you're pregnant, you should consult with your provider. Not because it's toxic, but because it works, and anything that works needs awareness and dosage. Consumption for everyone else. Most people can take sea moss safely in moderate amounts, especially for energy, digestion, mood, hair, skin, nails, immune support, help you curb your cravings, relieve your stress, helps you focus, helps you sleep, helps you become less irritable, helps you with your low drive, and mineral replenishment. But here's the key: quality matters. If your sea moss didn't grow in real ocean water, it's missing real ocean minerals. This is why people say eating fish is healthy. But if you want to not eat flesh anymore, just eat what they eat, which is the sea moss and the dulce and the kelp and the bladderwrack. That's why fish is so-called healthy, right? But if you don't know your diver that gets your sea moss, then you may want to proceed with caution. And if you met your seller over the internet, you may want to proceed with caution. So, as you probably know by now, a lot of emotional eating isn't emotional, it's biochemical. Stress burns minerals. Sedentary life reduces circulation. Poor sleep disrupts leptin and ghrelin. Ultra-processed diets starve the cells. And then the brain goes searching. What do stressed out human brains go searching for? Sugar, carbs, chocolate, salt, and chips. And those are mineral decoys, meaning they temporarily change your state, but they don't fix the deficiency. This is why adding mineral-rich foods can make weeks 3 through 7 in this program feel dramatically easier. So here's how you can use it in this program. You can use sea moss blended in your smoothies, in your teas, in your soups, added to sauces, or taken straight up like my niece loves to do. Dosage for most folks, you want to start out between 1 to 2 tablespoons, then gradually increase, but we'll get into that by midpoint of this program. Now, we're not using it as some kind of miracle cure. We're using it as cellular support while we retrain your nervous system, your taste buds, and your identity around food. Listen, sea moss ain't magic, but minerals are. And minerals change cravings. And cravings change choices. And choices change identity. And identity is who you become at the end of this program. Through this strategy and the method of this program, your body will start to remember what it needs. And when that happens, the mind stops chasing what it doesn't. And as part of my promise to you is showing you how you get every single dollar back that you invest in this program, here's a big return on your money. Now, let's say that this was an episode of Two Broke Girls, right? Here's what the numbers would look like. Now, the average person takes 2 to 3 supplements per day. I know plenty of people that take way more than that, but we're gonna stay with the average. Now, the average bottle of dietary supplements, which is multivitamins or minerals, they can cost anywhere between $15 and $30 in retail. Then you have some specialty formulas like omega-3s or vitamin D3 or K2, probiotics, right? They can range anywhere from $30 to $60 a bottle. Then you have some specialty blends with branded gummies, and they can cost anywhere between $40 and $80. So I'm going to keep a middle ground and keep it very conservative. So the average person, let's just say they spend $25 a bottle. And as I said, the average person takes anywhere between 2 and 3 supplements per day. So 3 bottles per person per month is $75 because each supplement is usually a 30-day supply. That can average to $900 a year. But the unfortunate thing is though, you usually end up still tired, still craving, still bloated, and still Googling, why am I like this? So when you invest wisely, here's what your annual spending could look like. You get a pound of dry sea moss, spend about $100 on it, which will last you a year. The awareness, it's free. The nervous system regulation, also free. The mineral repletion, it's included. And the willpower is not required. And once again, that is a total of $100 for the whole year. Net difference, $900 minus $100 is $800 that I just saved you. Plus less cravings, plus better energy, plus less supplements, plus less emotional eating, plus more peace, which is priceless. So just on this part alone is how I've already saved you almost $1,000. Plus, like I said, there's plenty of other information that I'm gonna give you, and it's gonna give you a return well over the cost of this program. Listen, healthy is expensive when you buy it in bottles, but healthy is abundant when you understand how the body works. Till next time.